Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's up, my lovely, beautiful guys, gals, and non-binary pals? Feels so amazing to be back in your ear, loving on your mind. Okay. Welcome to Amani's Infinite Love, and welcome to Amani's Infinite Love on YouTube. It's my first time recording my podcast. It's on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? And what's up to all mis amigos? Because I'm going to transcribe this in Espanol. But man, look, I've been around the world and learned just, oh my God, so much. And I can't wait to share what I've learned. So this is going to be an episode where I'm just going to just dive into like all the things that I learned and who, how, what, where, why, all the goodies and stuff. But before we get too deep into it, let's get so deep in ourselves. Kind of sound a little wrong. Okay, let's get deep in our breaths, okay? Because we like to start off these episodes with nice, deep, slow, relaxing breaths so that we can be in a calm and beautiful mindset so we can have this beautiful conversation with one another. So let's do, I'm thinking, in for 6 seconds, right? Right. Hold for 3 seconds, out for 3 seconds, and then repeat. Okay. I'm going to snap my fingers to help us move through these breaths and really just connect. Place your energy or your focus on a particular chakra or whatever energy center or point that you feel gravitated towards. Like really have intention with these breaths and just connect with that innermost self you. I hope that you're in a space where you can just kind of shake off anything and be in a state where you're tuned in, you're turning on your conscious awareness. All right. Shake it off. Crack those bones. Oh boy, I'll be having so much to crack. I need to stretch. We probably should do some stretching exercises on here. Oh man. Okay. You ready? Let's have these breaths of life. We're gonna do three of them. Okay. Inhale. Hold it. I could already feel it. You feel it? I know you feel it. Okay. Let's keep feeling it. Two more. Let's go. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Yes. One more, y'all. Let's get it. Inhale. Hold it. Let it all go. Whoa. That felt great. Definitely needed that for sure. But man, okay, let's tap into it, Monty. What's been going on? Where you been? Okay, tell you. Don't pull my arm, okay? I've been traveling around the world, right? Okay, I've been to multiple places in Mexico, Colombia, Chile, Brazil. I think when I added it all up, I've visited over like 50 plus cities, probably like 20 plus states, and all these different countries and stuff like that. And this whole time I'm thinking, oh yeah, like I'm seeing so much of the world. I'm seeing so much of the world on the outside. But God, I really explored a universe inside of me. Like, yeah, I've been to some places in this world, but man, the places that I was able to tap into myself, priceless, priceless. It's been priceless. And the focusing point of this podcast, of this episode, is something that I discovered because I actually did an episode about this and it got deleted. But I'm glad it worked out. It's all right. Maybe I just talked to myself for an hour, but it's all right. That's man, it's okay. That's normal. But I'm glad because before I was talking about passion and like kind of like this equation of life that I kind of found of like me understanding love and how it works and the experiences of love that I felt and that I just wow, it's been phenomenal. But basically when I was like really thinking about it, I'm like, no man, like we unlock the elements of love. And I don't believe anybody's ever broken it down like this. And I'm going to say it. I'm going to introduce this to you now and then kind of dive into it later. But kind of like what I've been envisioning is like the elements that we see or we hear about in Earth or even in like birth charts are really like inside of us, like literally when fire, air, water, earth, we all have this, right? And you thinking about those things like maybe in the physical terms. But I just I just got this down of like, nah, man, like it's all within, right? So when I'm talking about the fire of life, I've unlocked passion, right? When I'm talking about the earth of life, I'm talking about oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm getting excited. Let me look at my notes. Okay, our roots, our values, right? When I'm talking about the air of life, I'm talking about the breath, right? The curiosity, the liberation of life and of love, right? Because life and love is really all interchangeable. And then when I'm talking about the water in life, I'm talking about the ebb, the flow, and the rhythm of life and of love. So, man, I don't know if you were already like getting like excited as me, like just based off that. But let's talk about it, right? Because this is a conversation between me and you. Money's Infinite Love is not just a podcast, baby. It's a full-on conversation. And if you want, you can get a journal, write some things down. If you feel led to, it's all right, but it's all right because we got our breaths in. We're gonna talk about it. Let me sit back. Let me calm a little bit down. Nah, I'm not gonna calm down. Fuck that. Because let's start off with fire, right? Let's start off with fire. This is the reason. This is what led me, honestly, to this episode because and I'm talking about my own personal experiences here because I think that's like honestly the best way for me to be authentic and not like kind of generalize stuff and things that maybe people won't understand. Um, but I pray that and I know that whoever's hearing this podcast is meant to hear it. You're gaining valuable and nourishing downloads and information, all that may be needed for you to continue on your beautiful journey and path in life. I hope that I can help with that. So, infinite love to you. But yeah, man, what I found was phenomenal when I was thinking about the fire of love because you know, I realized and I knew it, something in me, like, always kinda knew, like sometimes I would say to myself, like, "I'm not mad enough." Like, I don't think I'm mad enough about something. And I would be like I would, like, say that to myself because, like, I was never really passionate about things, and well, I can't say I was never really passionate. Because I we all have our passions, right? Like before I went up on my travels, like I knew that I was like, passionate about music and like passionate about my podcast, like some things that I was doing. But I was in a very comfortable state. Like honestly just doing enough just to get by, make my money and do some stuff here and there, maybe make a beat, and maybe practice my instruments, go to drum lessons and stuff like that. But it was in a very like relaxed way, very in a much like not giving a fuck, you know? And I would ask myself, like, I don't think I'm mad enough because like sometimes like especially when you scroll on social media and you see these people and they're talking about, these things that they believe in and that they want to happen. And, especially when it came to like um the war in Gaza and the whole fuck show between Palestine and Israel, free Palestine, y'all. But yeah, like like people would be so passionate about it. And like I would really admire it. And I'm just like, man, like I need to get that mad over something. And like, yeah, like that did piss me off. And like, seeing what I can do for those people, but still, like to really devote your life to something. Like when you think of passion, like what do you think about? Like when I think of it, like I really thought about like passion is like the fire of love, right? Because it's like love on fire. Like when you're passionate about something, like I'm thinking about like that's something that you possibly die for. Like that's something that you can do every day, all day, and even if it may take your energy, you're still happy to be involved in it, and you love to share it, and you love to just experience it or whatever it is. Like that's kind of what I think of passion, and I really thought of it as like the fire of love. And I never knew that I wasn't nurturing my passion because this is the beautiful thing. Not only during my travels did I really realize like my passions because like I said, we all have passions, right? And I knew that, like I was passionate about music and passionate about, the things that I was doing, but I wasn't nurturing that fire. I wasn't I wasn't nurturing it. 'Cause I was just doing enough just to get by, just to be comfortable. But as I'm hearing, and I'm gonna put some clips up of like me and all the places that I went and like some of the music that I've heard, it was beautiful. I'm talking about jazz music from Brazil and just in these beautiful, amazing places, and I'm so grateful that I was able to soak up the sounds and the energy of all these talented musicians all over the world. I mean that experience in itself was phenomenal, and experiencing that really made me realize, like, wow, like I really love music, and like this is something like I'm truly passionate about. And I was like, man, why haven't I been nurturing this enough? Like, and I remember that very vividly because I remember one time when I was in Chile, right? I went to this jazz club and it was so amazing how everything, it always found me. It always found me. Like I was just walking down the street looking for a bank, FYI, nothing was open. But I'm walking down the street and I see this guy with his ukulele. Mind you, I just bought a ukulele, so I'm like, "Hey, fellow ukulele brother, right here." And they're all in this line, and I'm like, what's this? And they're like, "Oh, this is a jazz sesh. You wanna be in it?" And I'm like, yeah, sign me up. But I don't have any money, because I was looking for a bank. I just got to Chile. It was like literally my first day. Like it was as soon as I got there. And I was looking for some money to pay for my hostel, and the banks were not open. I could not get any money. And this entrance was like $5, and I didn't have it. But the guy let me in, and man, it was amazing. I mean, they had such talented musicians there. They was playing this beautiful jazz songs night. It was rocking, man. It was rocking. And at the end, I actually got a chance to play some drums. But I haven't practiced in such a while because I've been traveling. That's the whole reason why I bought the ukulele because I can't play my drums when I travel. Um, and just like moments like that, when I had these experiences with musicians, and it's like I always just like seen myself like so heavily in them because I'm like, man, like that's my dream, like that's my passion. And like I could stay at a concert all night just because I just love the music, and I was just dancing and just feeling it and grooving, and I'm like, like it lit me on fire. It just lit me on fire. It lit me on fire. And that's when I was like, man, and passion, like I was able to grow my flame. Every concert, every song, every rhythm. It just like my flame, it just kept growing and it kept growing. And I was like, man, like that's what I want to do. Like, I met a rock star, and I was just like, man, he's living the fucking dream. He was getting flown out to fucking the UK just off an amazing interaction he had while he was playing with his band. And man, I was just like, man, like that's it. Like, nah. That's when I was like, okay, I'm rotting for my passion. I'm dying for my passion. I'm living with passion because I really found like what I really love and what I really value in life. Every day, we should not take it for granted. And I wake up every day and I'm so grateful that I have another chance of life. Gracias a Dios for that. Um, and I don't think any day is meant to be wasted. This is a precious life that we live. Every day is truly a gift. And so often we can just get pulled into the mundane aspects of life. Waking up, scrolling on social media, using the bathroom, going to our job or whatever we do for work, maybe having some social time, go to a bar, get some beer, smoke some weed, smoke some tobacco, whatever you do. And then end it and you're like, yeah, my life today. You know? But we really have to make every day count. And when you're traveling, I mean, you're really on a fast track when you travel. If anybody has not solo traveled, I highly recommend it. I mean, the perspectives that you gain are, I don't regret a single thing. I don't regret nothing. Nothing. Okay? I'm grateful that I took all that beautiful time and even it felt like a glimpse. And I was gone for like 7 months and it just kind of like went by like that. But yeah, I think you meet a new you. You see yourself in a different light because the people that you're around, they don't know you. You're probably dealing with different ethnicities, different backgrounds. They don't even know maybe what to expect of you. They don't have any expectations of you. And therefore, you're not really having any expectations of yourself or, who you should show up to be to this particular person. So you really get to be like a new you or really just you, because you're not really putting on this everyday mask that maybe we go out into the world with, when we're operating at our jobs and we have this corporate face and we get home and then we have our family face. But like when you're just meeting new people, like you don't have to wear any face. You can just be you and they're gonna be them. And then y'all interact and then you get all these beautiful perspectives about you and them because everybody's just a reflection of you. That's beautiful. Highly recommend 10 out of 10. But I say all that to say the fire of love is passion. And this is such an important element because even on the physical aspect, right? Because everything connects. That's the thing, baby. I'm sorry. That's the thing, baby. We're gonna connect everything, right? When you think about fire, right, in the physical sense, starting a fire. And by the way, let's talk about this because I remember one time I was in the cabin, San Mateo in Oaxaca, right? Built a fire for the first time. I was struggling. I was building that fire for about an hour. Don't nobody talk about how hard it is to build a fire. Because most people don't build fires nowadays. We have everything, handed to us nowadays. We have our heaters and, like we're cooling. What do we need to build fires for, right? But I built this fire finally after about an hour, right? And there's like science to it. There's a science to building a fire, right? You can't just stack up the wood, logs. Well, I mean, I guess you could stack them any kind of way. But like when I was doing my YouTube videos, because I had to YouTube before, of course, it's like you lay them in a pattern, right? So let's say you have some logs lengthwise and you lay some horizontal, then some lengthwise, but then you want it to burn from the top down, but you have to have like some fire going underneath and then the top because that's how you kind of like make it last, right? Because it was born from the bottom up, everything would kind of just fall apart. So you kind of want it burning from here down so that the logs, that are placed this way, they could burn, and then the logs that are this way, they could burn, and the logs that are I hope y'all get the picture. There's science to it, all right? There's levels, literally. But, you know, just sitting there and watching that fire, watching that flame grow and spread was it was an experience. Cause like I said, I never built a fire before. And like finally when I got it lit and then I was like seeing it just burn and stuff, I was like, oh my God. And it felt so sacred. It felt so spiritual. I'm like, oh, I see why. Our ancestors just was like sitting around lighting fires. Like, yeah, maybe y'all didn't have stoves, but hey, I was onto something. Y'all was onto something. Fire can be so healing. It's so healing. Just sitting in front of fire and just like you know, fire can be seen as an element of destruction. But we have to realize that everything is like, you know, what's the word for it? Um, Not poles. Polarity. You have polarity, you know. So just like good, bad, same thing. It's just different sides, right? Different aspects of the same coin. Different sides of the same coin. There we go. And just like destruction could be the same thing as just cleansing. Right? And maybe that's just me because I'm a fire sign. I'm a Sagittarius. I was just really livid in that moment, okay? I was living and livid. All right? And just seeing that, it was so healing and clearing and cleansing to me, and it ignited my fire. Everything. I was ignited. I was ignited, right? But talking about building a fire is when you're setting the flame, right? Because we all have a flame inside of us. You have a passion. And I really want you to ask yourself, like, how is passion showing up for you? What are you passionate about in life? Are you dedicating enough time, enough energy, enough space in your life to really grow your passion, to grow this flame of yours? Is it just kindling? Is it distinguished? Is it burning? Is it a wildfire? How is passion showing up for you? Because I know for me before, it was just a little spark. It was like that. Probably like smaller than that. What's the smallest we could get? Okay. I like the visual representation, right? And let's say we're growing this flame. We're growing it. We're growing it. And then we light something on fire. I'm not going to do that. But we light something on fire. And then we put the wood in and we're letting it grow from the top down. We're letting it spread. We're giving it air. Which leads me to my next element. And by the way, this is connected with astrology as well. We all have our birth charts. We all have every single element, every single sign inside of us. And like I said, I may have traveled the world a little bit, but I really traveled far more places in the universe within me. And we are born, with charts and with signs and all these things. And that can also help to give us some insight about the elements within us because we're made of everything. Everything is made of us, right? We have everything inside of us. It's all within. The call is coming from inside the house, baby. It's always coming from within. Never forget that. Okay. But before we move on though, with air, thinking about the representation that fire has within astrology. When you think of the fire signs, you think of the probably the crazy ones, right? The ones that's really going out there, maybe partying, lighting things up, right? Like I said, we can be seen as maybe destruction. I like to say we're the cleansing, we're the real, leaders, the go-getters, right? When you think of the Aries, the Leos, the Sagittarius, shout out to all my fire signs, baby. Infinite love to y'all. Fuego, baby. Okay, all right. But fire, it is passionate. It is like just raging. It is strong. It's bold, you know? It's like, yeah, like the Fast and Furious, you know? Um, so think about that as well as we're like dissecting these elements within all of us, that we have within it. Like it goes deeper than just physical, and it's all connected though. That's what I'm saying. It's like the physical aspect, the astrological aspect, the inner aspect, the mental aspect, everything, right? It's beautiful because it's all energy. It's all energy at the end of the day. So yeah, I want to put that out there about, the fire signs before we see about the air, because something happens when we mix fire and air. It gets wild. It gets crazy, which is why a lot of fire signs and air signs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me and my Gemini people, hey. Hey, it's something serious. I'll say that. It's something serious. But, even in the air signs, when we think about them, they're also often known as like the intellects because they're very curious, maybe even the airheads, right? Because think about the wind, thinking about the air, people going with the wind taking you. When you're a bird and you're flying with the wind beneath your wings. It's that element that really just kind of lifts you up, that can really take you different places if you allow yourself to surrender and flow with it, right? And go with it, you know? Going with the wind. I'm born with the wind. Okay, that's another one. Okay, but anyway. Um, yeah, the air element is so important. And then also thinking about the breath. It's like it's an important element of life because every time we breathe, we're taking in that beautiful element of air every second of the day. So now let's put into these little equations I just made, right? Where we're saying that the fire is the passion of life and the air is life in itself, right? It's liberation, it's freedom, it's all these things that life really is that maybe we're blocking. Perfect example. Remember 2020? I know you remember. We had a big thing going on. COVID, Corona, whatever you say. And a lot of people, they had these masks on their faces, because maybe it was a requirement, right? But just thinking about it, just picturing it, right? Because I think I'm going somewhere with this. Follow me, follow me, follow me. We had these masks on our faces, and I don't know about you, but for me, when I had the mask on, it was hard to breathe. Like I had to just sometimes just take it down, like just to really get some breath, because when you have that mask on your face and on your nose, and it's like it's blocking your natural respiratory system because, normally we're just breathing. We don't have nothing like that on, but during those times it was, kind of like, hey, put your mask on, right? So when we had the mask on, it was harder for us to breathe. It was harder for us to breathe freely. Okay, I'm going somewhere with this, right? Right. Okay, okay. Freedom is the thing because we're all born free, but the system tries to slave us with everything in the world, with all these materialistic things that we really don't need, but they trap us into. Think about it. All these physical desires we were not born with, just kind of like handed handed these things, right? And a lot of us take these things without question. but we really should be questioning a lot of things. We really should. It's like promoting all the seven deadly sins: gluttony, lust, and jealousy, because I mean, just look at America. Really, look at America. I got a different bone to pick with America now. I done been around the world, America, and I see what you're doing, and I don't like it, okay? So I got a different bone to pick with America. Look, but you get back and you see everybody, oh, I love me some Chick-fil-A, some Popeyes. Yeah, we're gonna get that new sandwich that just dropped, and I even found myself almost getting into it. Like you'll order some things, maybe at, fast food or whatever you get, and then you're just thinking more like, no, a burger and some fries won't just do. Like now you see McDonald's stopping on the way back home. You're like, oh, but that ice cream would be good right now too, though. And then maybe you go to the store and then you picking up chips and you picking up other snacks and you just ate and it's just like gluttony, man. Like chill out. You know? Like I found myself falling into that where I was getting some crawfish and then I'm thinking about other things. I'm like, bro, I just ate crawfish. Let me chill. Let me chill right now. Like, and the way these crawfish prices is right now, I don't need to be getting all these shit. But anyways, we really have to question a lot of things that are normalized now because a lot of what's normal now is really not normal. We are born free, like I said. So things, am I bleeding? No, okay, sorry. We are born free, and the world tries to trap us in every way because it's all about the plato, the dinero, the money to the people who create this system. But when we allow ourselves to spread our wings, have the air, right? The intelligence, the movement, the liberation. Just imagine when you mix that with the fire of life, our passion. What happens? A wildfire. It's a wildfire, right? When you mix fire and air, it spreads. It really does. It spreads. So when you're breathing life into your passion, that's often how you also create a fire. You kind of have to like breathe on the kindling wood so you can allow the fire to spread. It really does help fire spread. So thinking about when we're breathing life into our passion, giving life into our passion, breathing, living in it. I mean, it's a whole nother level, right? Because like I said before, like I was sparking my passion. I was engaging with it, but it takes time to build a fire. It takes patience to build a fire, and it takes consistency to build a fire. It's one thing to have a fire going, baby, but that fire can always go out if you're not adding more wood to it, more air, more elements in order for this to breathe and for this to really grow, for this to really take hold, right? So now I'm mixing in these elements of life. Like I said, it's all within us. But I like to, kind of like have this physical and astrological spiritual representation of it. But it's all within, right? So like I said, we think about the air, we thinking about those air signs, those Geminis, those Libras, the Aquariuses, right? The airheads and the fires of life. We have all these different elements into play. But also a key thing that I didn't mention is we have Earth. We have Earth. And the Earth is so important. It's so important. We need Earth in order to build a fire. Back to our fire example, right? Um, you need the wood, some form of elements, earth, whether it's paper or, certainly wood, in order to build a fire. That's the basics. Because without it, you you can't have a fire. You just can't, right? So that's like the grounding, the values of life. And I say that Earth is the values within life because I believe everything is connected, first of all. And that when we think of like the Earth signs, because I'm very much into astrology, so I'm going to keep bringing it up. When we think about the Capricorns, the Tauruses, the Virgos, I personally think they're all pretty stubborn. Fuck, those people are stubborn. And the Pisces, but yeah, the earth signs because but it's a reason I know is because they're earth signs. When you think about the earth, you're thinking about grounding. These people, sometimes really enjoy routine. They like perseverance. Like well, they're all different, but I'm just kind of generalizing based off like the different signs, right? Like, you know, maybe they like orderness. They like order. They like some kind of routine maybe. They like to be comforted. They like to be secure, to be secure and to be grounded. Yeah, like they will persevere. Like especially in Capricorns, like they will work hard because they know and they believe like, man, if I work hard, I know that I'm gonna get what I want to get. And the Tauruses, they'll work because they know they want good things in life, and so they're gonna get it. And Virgos, they gonna work. They're gonna work. They're all very hardworking people. I can definitely say that. But it's because they're grounded and they're rooted in values. So it's important right now to ask yourself, like, what are you rooted in? And also, for the air, are you breathing life into your passion? Are you nurturing your fire within? Are you letting it distinguish? But with the earth, it's important. And I'm actually reading a book right now, Stoicism, and it talks a lot about, you know, values, virtues. It's all about virtues. And really Stoicism. That's really it's really all about because you have to ground yourself on something. What Tupac say? Live for nothing and stand for nothing and you'll fall for anything. And that's true. If you don't live for anything, if you don't have these values in life that you really stand for, then we'll just watch everything just burn. Putting that fire in again. Did you cut? Okay, all right. Maybe you caught that. Maybe you did. I don't know. But yeah, we have to be grounded in something. What are you standing for? Just as a tree stands tall, stands so tall and it provides so much love and air and respiration and information to us. You know, everything has a purpose. Nothing was put here by mistake. The Creator created everything so divinely, just like you. And it's important to look within. Everything that we see on the outside is just reflections of us because nothing's really real. This is all holographics. So what are you standing for in life? What are your values in life? Are you valuing your passion? Are you valuing your life? Are you valuing your love? Are you valuing you? You're amazing. Do you know how amazing you are? Have you explored that? Have you appreciated that? Have you grounded yourself in appreciation and love for who you are? Or are you going with the wind? Whew. Jesus. I don't know. Hey, am I spending too much right now? Tell me if do I need to slow down? Let me bring it back. All right. Let me come back up in here. I don't want to lose you. Stay with me. Stay with me. I know that person bringing myself back up in here when I knew that my passion was music and sound and healing and um love, right? With those things, I realized that I can't be so neutral with everything. And before, I think a lot of times I was very neutral with things because I labeled myself as a very non-confrontational person. I don't really like to argue with people, because I always see like a point in somebody else's point as well. And I think that's why I kind of like never really argue with somebody because I respect that other people have opinions and I respect their opinions. Like, okay, you think what you think and I think what I think. Why am I going to argue about you what we think? Like, we just think different. All right. But it reminded me not to ever um like sway with my values. If I believe in something, believe in it wholeheartedly. Like if I'm out here believing in love and believing in light and believing that everybody is born free and we are all liberated and we are all free, um, then why would I engage in things that say otherwise? Why would I not support people and their liberation and their love? Why would I not help a brother out on the street if I, see them and they're struggling? Why would I just walk right past them and tell them, oh, and think to myself, oh, well, they should get a job and they, I don't, you know, like that's conflicting. That's conflicting. And when we have all these conflicting mindsets and actions, then that's why so many people get confused with their identity. You don't even know who you are because what are you standing for? What are you here for? You don't remember. You're not remembering. So I remembered, the things that I stand for, the things that I won't let go, and the things that I'll give up. you know? Because I'm learning like my passion and how to nurture it and speaking life into it and breathing life to it and giving energy into it every day and not taking that for granted. So I really am getting rooted right now because I was led back here because I follow God. God leads me everywhere. God led me around the world. So when God said, "Okay, it's time to go back," I went back, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful because honestly, this time that I've been back has really been allowing me to get grounded and get rooted in my values. Like I know now what I value. I know now what I'm not going to put up with. I know now what I'm going to stand for. And so I make sure that I'm not contradicting myself in my actions, contradicting myself in my thoughts. Like if I know that I'm wealthy, why would I ever engage in broke behavior? Why would I ever engage in broke mindset? If we know that we're abundant. And I know this. Like I said, it's something when you know, but it's another thing when you know you know. So when I know that I'm blessed and that I'm highly favored and that we all are. I'm not going to take anything that allows me to settle or that makes me question or doubt my abundance within, you know. So it's so important for us to have a conversation about what we really value in life, what we're really standing for, what we're not putting up with, and what we are. And that's where boundaries come in, right? Because it's about values. Values are so super duper uber the earth of life. We have one more element left though. I didn't talk about it because I did so much healing honestly with this element. And allowed me to have such a deeper and greater appreciation with this earth. But I want to speak upon the water element. The water element I see as the rhythm, the flow, the giver, the emotional mothering energy of the earth and of our life, right? Because when you think about I mean, I'm just gonna like picture back when I was on the beach and listening to those waves and just seeing the waves crash and hearing the different sounds of it and looking at the sunset out on the beach, out on the waters, on the lagoons, on the rivers, on all the different waterways I was able to explore and the peace and the abundance that I felt there. It always reminded me of the rhythm of life. because I always connected everything back to music because like I said that's my passion, right? And I love to share my passion now. And so I'm thinking about like the orchestra, like the symphony of life, and the beautiful rhythm that the earth has with the waves. Like it comes in and it comes out, and tides sway, and they're swooshing around, and maybe it gets really big waves, and then maybe they get smaller and more petite, and it's a beautiful rhythm that the earth has. And just watching and admiring that made me realize the rhythm that we all have. We have a heartbeat. That thing's beating right now, baby. You feel it? Your heart is beating. We all have a natural rhythm inside of us, just like the oceans, just like everything that we see, because, like I said, our external world is just a reflection of our internal world. So, bringing it back to our heart beating, and it's kind of like the pump of the oceans within us because we're what, 70 something percent water, or just majority water, right? It has a lot to do with what we feel because emotions are responses. They're energy in motion, right? And I think I touched upon an episode with this, but our emotions are an important caliber into everyday life because it helps kind of, well, our emotions may not really label it, but our feelings do, because I believe those are different. Because we can have like emotions, but not really understand those emotions. But when we have feelings, then those are like the labels are of our emotions. Like, oh no, I feel this, I feel that because of the emotion that your body has responded into, right? Because we have a heartbeat, maybe our heart sends signals to our brain, and well, not maybe, like this is actually how it happens, right? Because like if we're in fight or flight mode, right, our heartbeat will go racing, right? And then that race in our heartbeat will stimulate emotions. And then those emotions, they're signaled up into our body and into our brain. And then our brain is like, oh shit, okay, maybe I feel threatened. I need to go this way. Or maybe I feel mad. I don't need to, you know, um, go off on this bitch right now. This is my own thoughts. Because yeah, I don't let my anger control me because we all have a choice as well, um, to respond to our emotions, just as our emotions are a response to our outer world. We can have we all have a choice to how we respond to our emotions. Now some people, they talking about they see red and they black out and they just go off on this whole you know what I'm saying? You getting cursed out and slapped around now, and whoa, but we we have a choice. We have a choice to respond to our emotions. And connecting this back to our fire, our earth and our air, when we're talking about our passion in life, which is really like most likely our purpose in life, right? Is that we have the choice of not, we don't really choose what we feel, but we can choose how we react and how we respond to our emotions. So if I was feeling down about my passions and I was feeling down because maybe my passion wasn't making me any money, right? Because, I've been doing music and I haven't really generated much money off of it. And, I think that, oh, well, maybe this is just a hobby, or maybe this is just, something I can do on the side and focus on other things. And, you know, it's it's tricky, right? Because we do live in this material world, and maybe sometimes we do want material things, and maybe our passions are not paying the bills. But to downplay your passion or feel unworthy, or just not taking your, like, taking your passion for granted just because it may not be gaining you money or material value is not cool, man. That's not cool. Because a lot of us who are passionate about something, we're actually very talented within that thing. Like maybe you're talented about sewing, or maybe you're passionate about baseball, or I don't know. But whatever it is for you, oftentimes we're very well and knowledgeable and, inclusive about what we're passionate about. And that's not something to be taken for granted, because if you have this gift, you have this passion, and you're igniting fire and speaking life into it and giving energy into it, breathing life into it, right? Letting it, allowing it to set you free with the air, then emotionally it's okay and it's favorable to allow yourself to respond with love to this, and not slander with hate, and feel like you're less than just because it may not be gaining you materials values, or you're not as famous as this person or that person, or that person, and this person don't think it's popping. Like, nah, if you know it's popping, and if you like feel liberated, and if you're feeling like amazing and just all giggity up when you're engaging within your passion, then who gives a fuck? It's for you. It's for you, baby. It's all for you. And share it. Share it freely, if that's what you're being led to do. And share it with love and with the same passion that you created it with. A lot of us, we hide our gifts because um, we don't know how it's going to be accepted. But we could be so happy. Like when I'm making my beats, I'm over here like, oh, this shit hard, nigga. Like, hey, like this day, this shit go hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm making my beats and I'm making my music, I'm like, man, this shit I'm over here making a stank face like, uh, you know? But then maybe I posted a little bit on social media. I'm just like, hey guys, maybe give it a listen. Maybe tune in if you want. Hey, got a new Beatles. It's gonna drop at 8 p.m. Central Time. Check it out. Nah, I need to come on this bitch with fire. Hey, bruh. Hey, I just made some heat, bruh. This bitch about to drop. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. And I'm speaking to myself too, because I'm learning this. I'm learning. So I'm just sharing what I'm learning, because I'm hoping that, like, no, I'm praying, because I know. I don't hope, I pray. I know that within you right now, your passion is growing. We're giving air, we're giving fire, we're giving earth, we're giving energy into your passion to allow it to flow, to allow it to be, and not judge it, and not apprehend it, and not dismiss it because you may not feel like it's worthy enough or you're worthy enough, but you are. You deserve it, and others deserve to see what you're passionate about. Like I said, if you're led to share, maybe you're not meant to share your passion right now. Maybe you're in that season. So, we're all in different seasons, and respect your season, respect your timing, because that's all divine, right? But if you're feeling being led to share your passion, to really engage with it and light it up and grow this fire and speak more energy into it, then do it, and remember that feeling, that emotion of passion. It all connects. All those elements, they all play in part with that. And like I said, the air, I mean, the water, sometimes water can make a fire even grow bigger. That's why they say, hey, don't throw water on grease flames, right? Because that's just going to explode. But then sometimes you can put so much water into it where it completely extinguishes the flame. Maybe you're putting too much emotion into your passion where you're distinguishing your own fire, because you're doubting yourself, because you're questioning yourself, because you don't trust your passion. But when you allow that fire to speak to you, and you're breathing life into this fire, and you're allowing it to just breathe all over into your body, and you feel it in your soul, that's a different level. That's a different level, baby. And also think about our water sign babies, right? Or the Cancers, the Scorpios, the Who else? We have who's the water sign? Who else is a water sign? Pisces, the Pisces. They are often known as like the emotional people, right? Maybe overthinkers. And they can also be very passionate, right? Because if you have all these emotions, passion is an emotion as well. Like you feel it. You can say, "Oh, I feel passionate." Right? Because all these emotions come up, and then you can label this emotion and say, "Oh, I'm passionate." Like I feel, passion. I feel fiery. Like I feel gravitated. Like I feel in love with this. So it's definitely a process for you to learn, and me as well, to learn how to work with these elements of life, not only in the physical state, but within our inner state, because we have these elements within, and it's a sacred mix and a combination that we are blessed with because they all create and make life as well as they can all destroy it. So I leave you off with this, and write this down if you want. But as our conversation comes to an end, I really want you to give life and energy and build up that fire within, because you deserve it and we deserve to see it. Because when you're passionate, it's gonna light your world up. You're gonna go about through life with a different attitude, with a different awareness, with a different level of not giving a fuck, with a whole different attitude. You're gonna walk different. You're gonna talk different. You might even smell different. You might get you some new cologne. You're like, baby, I'm so passionate. I need to get a new scent. I don't know, baby, but I know your heart's gonna light up and it's gonna get on fire. And we need this light in this world right now. Light workers are stepping up, passions are rising, and magic is gonna be made once you stop playing with yourself and your gift, baby. So I do challenge you to just give energy into your passion wholeheartedly. Focus on it, journal about it, read about it, write about it, talk about it, walk about it, whatever. But I challenge you for the next 30 days, just see what happens. If you just devoted a little bit less time to social media, devoted less time on your work, on drinking, on smoking, on these vices that we may have, and just put in more energy, putting more elements into your passion. See how you feel. Like I said, write about it, talk about it, whatever you want. How does it feel now that you're living in your passion? Now that you're breathing in your passion? Now that when you wake up, you're consciously thinking about your passion? When you're standing tall on your values and valuing your passion? 30 days. 30 days straight, man. You know? Let me know the magic that happens. Hit me up on Instagram, Infinite Love G. That's my Instagram. I'm excited and I'm blessed to share my passion with you and for you to start lighting up the world with yours. Guess what? Guess what? Hold up. Guess what? You have Amani's Infinite Love. On Amani's Infinite Love, thank you so much for tuning into the episode today. Infinite love to you. Infinite love to that passion, that fire that's starting in with you. Don't forget about the amazing four elements that we have within. I love you. Namaste. Infinite love, my people. Peace.